Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to focus on commercial real estate agents, and we're going to solve a problem for you that I think a lot of us in the beginning really had, and that is you'd get a call from a client. They say, hey, 3 months ago we were talking about this subject. I need to refresh my memory on it, and you had to go through and search your emails for that. You know, if you had a good CRM, you could have went right into that client and found the email. So it's a good CRM could be a very good tool for you to be utilizing. It's actually the basis of your entire company. So Natalie Wainwright, she's a top broker in Las Vegas. She's going to come on and walk us through all the tips and tricks that she utilizes to track all of her clients and all of her lead generation. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Joe Killinger, and I've been a real estate entrepreneur for over 20 years. And I use this YouTube channel to bring on people like Natalie today and give you all the tips and tricks to really help you be successful in the real estate industry. So make sure you check out the video, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe. All right, Natalie Wainwright, people have been waiting for this video. How to master your CRM. I think all of us have been waiting for this. I know I could use a lot of help. And I think, you know, CRM is the key to a commercial broker's business. You know, it's the basis for, it's your foundation. So I appreciate you taking the time for doing this today.
Absolutely.
What system do you use?
I use something called the NAV, and it's hosted by Zoho.
Okay.
And it is started by brokers, and I think that is always a good thing. A good genesis of any CRM is if it's started by the people that actually have done our business. So it's called the NAV.
Okay.
And I want to screen share it. Can I show you guys a little bit of our my CRM? Can I bring you into the lifeblood of how I run my team?
I'm guessing they're going to say yes, so I'm going to try and do this.
Well, before we even get started, wouldn't you agree that a good CRM is something with no workarounds?
Right.
Right? Because I know that I tried everything at Cushman & Wakefield. We tried everything. And every CRM, anybody that was trying to sell us one would always say, oh, there's a good workaround for that when I'd ask for something. And you get tired of it. I don't want to have an Excel spreadsheet. I don't want a workaround. I want my CRM to work for me. It's just like when we're putting a tenant in a space. I'm a tenant rep, so excuse me if this analogy doesn't work for you. I don't want them to make the space work for them. I want the space. I want it the other way around. I want them to be happy where they are.
Okay.
It's got to work perfectly. I want every building databased. I want to be able to track my deal from start to finish. And then when it's closed, I want to attach that lease comp to that building and everything to work together. I want every email to automatically be linked to the deal in my CRM. And that's what I found after years and years and thousands of dollars.
Well, now you're databasing. How long you been doing it?
How long have I had the same CRM?
Yeah.
Probably about 4.5 years.
Okay, so you have used a good number of CRMs in the past, and this is the one that you find the best.
Yeah, I don't want to like name names, but I've used every single one.
Okay. When you first started, because this is what I get, we have our new agents, and I'm pushing, get a good CRM, and I hear, oh, they're so expensive. I'm like, let's talk about it. What made you finally decide to get a good CRM? Did you start off with one, or did you do an Excel spreadsheet and then move into a CRM?
That's a great question. And this video is so important, and I'm really happy to be doing it with you. So just want to go on, just want to start with that.
Thank you.
I don't remember. It was so long ago, and I started working under it was a tenant rep and a landlord rep, and they were together. They were a team. And one was exclusive and the other one was exclusive to what they did. And we were at Cushman & Wakefield. God, I think they were using Excel spreadsheets. Yeah. And I know that we used Salesforce. Cushman & Wakefield then adopted Salesforce, and we were supposed to put everything in it. But the thing is, with most of these CRMs, if you don't own the building, they don't let you put the building in the CRM. Right. So you're having to do your deal tracking in one and then your databasing in another. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
It removes all efficiencies.
It removes all efficiencies. And so I found mine. I think I pay $120 a month. It's worth its weight in gold because everything is in one place. So if you're using Excel spreadsheets, I get it. I still listen, my sheets have sheets. I get that. But you want something where you can have everything in one place and you can have attachments. Because let me tell you this, I'm very happy where I'm at, but I was very happy where I was at before. But my CRM came with me. It's team proprietary. And so everything that I have, so my clients that came with me when I left Cushman & Wakefield, when they call, because when you leave a firm, everything stays at the firm. But my clients can call me where I'm at now and say, hey, do you have that amendment that we did 5 years ago? And guess who has that amendment that we did 5 years ago? Because it's my CRM.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing, you know, the way we do it with Commercial Brokers International is we give the agents the option. If you want us to get a CRM, we're happy to do it, but that's company information then. If you want to maintain your data, and this is what we recommend to you, because our goal is to help you build your business. We say to our agents, I recommend you get a good CRM and start really building your business for yourself.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's critical. And, you know, 100%, I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to keep the data, then if I leave and if you've paid for it. And so if the agent pays for it, they take their data with them. It's just,
and it's, you know, you want to start everything the way you intend to finish. Listen, if you're just getting in the business, if you're a one-woman band, a one-man band, cool. But your vision is to be a millionaire, right? Your vision is to really grow your business, and you want to grow. You want to have bandwidth. My vision is to eventually hand the Wainwright Group over, and hey, you know, live on the beach. And so I can't do that if my CRM doesn't have everything that they need. And so I have it completely filled out, every call, every email, everything. And by the way, you want to have that logged because the deal cycle is so long. When you get to month 11, you think you're going to remember what's happening at month 1. You want to be able to be on that phone call with your client or the attorney or anything and say, wait a minute, Mr. Landlord. In month 2, this is what happened. And I can't tell you how many times it has saved my, you know what, to have a living live document and my CRM completely filled out of every call, every email, and be able to go back in. It just saved a client $250,000 where the entire project was sold. The new owners came in, tried to rewrite the entire deal, even though we had a lease. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. This is, I know everything that was done. And it's all because of my CRM. You can't afford not to have one. So can I show mine now? Can I show and tell?
Yeah, let's get you. I know that you're dying to do this, and you know I'm going to screw this up. So let's make you host.
Yep. So this is the number one thing that I am asked about. And this is my CRM. I'm not going to go into the deal flow, but I'm going to show you my properties. So database will have every property. Now, obviously, listen, how do you get the data in? Yeah, you know how we get the data in our CRMs. We have to put it in there. Okay.
Manually put it in, or you can import it. So this was all imported. So I can go into a property and see any deals that are attached to that or associated to that deal. But this is literally every building in my market in Southern Nevada is here. So once a deal is get all this data,
input it.
You manually put it, you pulled everything from public records and manually input this.
Well, no, it's not public records. Let's say you're on the phone with a broker and I'm on the phone with a broker that I love. Her name's Amy Lance, and that's her real name. And we're on the phone and she goes, oh, you know, I just closed this deal over at, you know, at 6535 North Buffalo Drive. And I go, oh, really? Tell me more. So I'm in my CRM and I'll go in and I will close out that deal. I'll put in a lease comp, right? So this is the building and I'll go down and I'll attach a deal. Now, this is actually a deal I just closed. This is the old lease comp. We just renewed them. So I haven't done a new lease comp, but that's their old, that's actually 2 amendments ago, but that would be for old lease expiration. They're sweet. And so I can actually show you what a lease comp looks like. And so the lease comp is there. You put the expiration, the size, the lease expiration, the company name, the gross in-house commission. I'm going to retire. The landlord name, and then all of this is in your CRM. Now, ideally, all the attachments would be here, the lease, the amendments, the original, all the emails would be here and attached. I'm glad that this one's not fully filled out because it's obviously, confidential information. And then
Sure.
every task, meeting, and call. The deal, let's say they call me back, which they do every 3 years or 5 years, and we renew them. And then guess what? I went directly from the client and I'm creating a new deal pipeline. And so that deal pipeline is now in my team can see this, and we go through the entire the entire deal process. Okay, are they new to
Right.
the market? What's the lead source? Is it a CRE fan broker?
There
Right?
you go.
Is it from Instagram? Is it Hughes Marino? CBI
Mhm.
has one on there.
Yep.
What's their current expiration? So you go through this whole process, and then also the lease requirement. We've got lots of questions when we do an intake call. If you're a flex broker, lease broker, office broker, or retail broker. So we go through that whole process, and then it's all in your CRM. You can also track how much money you're going to make. And then of course you close it out. So it really is the lifeblood of your entire team to be able to do it. Now the contacts is my secret sauce as well, because, and I don't mind showing this page, you can go in and you can add like little notes. You can add their birthday, you can add their handles, you can add all kinds of information about your clients and your contacts that you want to remember. What's their wife, when's their anniversary, what's their favorite liquor? So when you close the deal, you can send them their favorite bottle of liquor. So your CRM should be constantly open and on a screen all into itself the entire time in your workday. Is that how you use yours?
Your value is there. All
Yes.
that data as agents, that's our value, is having that information.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can just Google and go, I want to see how much is this. It's gonna be on LoopNet, so any person can go look at it. They don't have this historical data.
Yeah. I mean, I have
Yeah.
rent rolls. I have rent rolls on rent rolls in stacks. I mean, they call it the Bible for the tenant reps in my CRM. And
Right.
so, I have way, way, way too much business as it is. But let's say it's a slow day and Natalie needs something to do. I could just bring up a building. I've got it completely rent rolled. I could filter it by, okay, they're expired. Let's say I want them to expire from June of 23 and beyond. So that way I've got a little runway and I can start cold calling.
Yeah.
It's unlimited business inside as long as you're putting it in, but it's how you keep everything straight. And if there's a fire in your building, because you old dogs, not you, but the old dogs that are watching this and you think you're great with your folders, if there's anything, the hard drive goes down, this is all cloud-based. So I could be on a tour with my iPad and I could have a CPA client and this happened and they're like, oh, we'll never go in that building. And it's the most expensive building in Las Vegas. So in my head, I'm like, why not? And they're like, well, they're the biggest competing CPA firms in that building. I'm like, oh, really? So I pull up my iPad and I pull up my CRM and I'm like, well, they're actually expiring in about 8 months. And word is they're not renewing. Who put them in the most expensive building? And it's the best price for them. So it doesn't really matter the price, but I'm in that building because I had that intel in my CRM. Be the best at your job. If you're playing on Excel spreadsheets, hello.
Yeah.
Right.
It's, our younger agents are using Post-it notes again. I'm like, who, why? But they do input now, and it just took a while. It took training, but from day one, you should have a good CRM. You should be inputting data because that is your value as a real estate agent.
It's your lifeblood. It's your lifeblood. Yeah. And your co-brokers that will call you and they might have a deal for you and then it dies. Trust me, they'll call you in 6 months and they'll be like, hey, that deal came back. You're not going to remember who they are, what it was about, why it died, unless you have it in one place. Searching email is antiquated and it will get you in trouble and you are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table.
I agree. Can you track your content on there as well? Since, we're coming up on CRI Summit next week, so I have to ask, just in case Ken and Linda and Casey and Melissa, if they're watching, we got to make sure that we talk about content creation. Do you track it through your CRM as well?
I don't, but
Okay.
I will tell you what I do use in my CRM. I showed you that I had that CRE FAM referral. Yep. I would say that this year alone, I've made probably, $500,000 in inbound business from my CRE FAM and social media. So I love checking that box, CRE FAM or Twitter or Instagram. And so, you need a CRM when you are making as many deals as I do from my content creation and from CREI. And I get to see all of you guys in a room that we all do deals together. So
I'm excited about next week.
it.
You know, it made me think, how do you track track other brokers from other in your community on your CRM as well? Do you keep contact information? How do you do that?
Yeah, so in the contacts tab that I showed you, I keep, I have something called the industry, and then what's the contact type? And so contact roles, whenever I do a deal, every deal has a bunch of different contacts, right? You either have your co-broker, you have the landlord broker, you have the local decision maker, the guy that's actually making all the decisions on the East Coast. So every contact has a type, and there's like 10 different types. And so I keep them all in there as well. And so if they're local, then they'd just be the local broker. And so that's how every contact that gets inputted, they'll have a different type. And I'm telling you, there's not one thing in the CRM, and I personally built it out. And that's what's so great about the NAV, is that if you come up with something in your head, you can put it in there. So that's what's so great. There's no workarounds, but they have to have the infrastructure in place for you to be able to do that. And I know that I'm talking a lot, but it's just, I can't think of anything more important in this business, tenant rep, sales, I don't care what lane you're in, than your CRM.
Oh, I agree. You know, it's even when you retire, there's value in that. You can sell that CRM to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, but you need to be building it out from day one.
Yeah, and you can't call yourself an entrepreneur, which we're all entrepreneurs. I don't care if somebody works at your company, they work for me, I work at Logic. You can't call yourself an entrepreneur if you can't sell your business. I could sell my business with my CRM right now for probably a couple of $1 million because of what's in my CRM. If I wasn't able to do that and I wasn't being a businesswoman and keeping that up to date, I would be self-employed. I'd be employed. And so it's really important, if you're in this business and you're all over content and you're this and you're that and you're saying it and you're dressing up on Sunday's finest, if you're using Excel spreadsheets and Post-it notes, you haven't really made it. You need to be using it. I don't care what you're using.
You know, Natalie, I do, as you know, this channel has been growing, so it's good. I've had a lot of conversations. You cannot believe the number of people that are still using Excel spreadsheets and Post-it notes in our industry. And that's not just the older generation, it's the younger generation. And, you know, they're the most tech savvy. And, you know, that's why I thought having you come on today was so important, because I think they need to hear how critical it is. If you truly want to have success in this industry, A, your competition is tough. You know, there's a lot of top-notch brokers out there. B, you better have the right tools in place if you think you're going to compete with them, because I can't imagine coming up against you in that market in Nevada. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start. And because if you get a phone call, you're popping on your CRM, you can tell me the history of almost every damn building in Nevada, so, or in Las Vegas. Now, how do I compete with that?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why there's only one competitor in town for me. It's a competitor. And there's only one other exclusive tenant rep, and we both take it. And that's why I take it seriously, is because he was my mentor and he told me how to take it seriously. But yeah, no, if you're serious about this business, you need to think of yourself as a business person, almost like you're in an entire corporation. Could you sell it? Could you get hit by a Mack truck and somebody could come and take over your business? They can't take over emails and Post-it notes and Excel spreadsheets. They can't take over a team proprietary CRM. Do you have one? No. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I don't make a dime from my CRM company. I pay every month just like everybody else, but it's that important to me. And it's helped me take my business from, let's say, you know, a couple $100,000 a year to where I'm at now. And I just think it's that important. And I want everyone around me to win. So that's why I've been thinking of this video for over a year. And you came to me and said, what if we do a CRM video? And I was like, yes, yes. So I really appreciate you even taking the time to do this with me.
I appreciate you taking the time, because you brought so much important data. But I think, you know, I need the average age of a commercial real estate is up there, right? Late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
We need to get younger people into this industry.
Yeah.
They need to be told, you know, this is what works, from people that have been in it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that's why this video, and I'm learning that as I'm doing these videos, you know, some of these companies aren't doing training. They're not really showing the people these tools. And I'm fortunate that I've got people like you that are willing to come on here and take the time and really tell these people how to really build their business. And this is step number one, most critical. Thank you very much for doing this today.
You are so welcome. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. You're the best. Thank you for everything that you're doing for our industry. No one else is doing.
I'm just fortunate that I got with everybody and have people I can reach out to when I'm finding that, you know, there's a need for it. And, you know, Shlomo was in here yesterday and I just decided, you know, he was talking about CMBS and I got thinking last night about midnight. I'm like, this is what I dream about. Shlomo at midnight, CMBS mortgages. I'm like, I got to do a video when we're in New Orleans next week with him about CMBS because some of the talking points he came up with. So I'm just very fortunate to have everybody like you around. And so thank you very much. And for those of you that are watching the video, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so, you know, make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to put Natalie's contact information. I'll probably, Natalie, if you can send me the company that you're using, the CRM, and you know, and again, she's not paid to promote it. I'm just saying, it sounds like you've got to see how it works. So we'll put that up there. And again, make sure you subscribe and we'll see you again soon.
Bye guys. Have a good one.